Thanks, Ron. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today. My name is Rob Duffy. I'm Head of Solution Development at CloudReach, and I'm here with Doug Burke. Doug, you want to introduce yourself? Can you unmute Doug? Okay. Well, Doug figures out his the audio.
I got it, Rob. You muted me. I know you did.
I promise it will.
I'm Doug Burke, here with Rob, talk about our work together as partners, and I have responsibility for our partner program at TDS. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thanks. And so Doug and I want to talk to you about how we at CloudReach work together with Transformation Data Systems to really create an accelerated migration program for our customers. And first, let me tell you a little bit about CloudReach. So I won't read everything on the slide here, but as you can see, we have quite a long history of working with AWS, and we provide a variety of services. And really our focus is how do we help customers get to the cloud and generate the most business value from that move to the cloud, and how do we help them modernize their applications so that they are able to utilize the cloud to really accelerate their business, go after new markets, and work with their customers in new ways. And so we've been doing this for a very long time with AWS, and we work with primarily in the enterprise space, but we also do work with a lot of corporate customers as well. We have global offices, primarily headquartered here in the US and in the UK. And so the way in which we help our customers is really we're able to provide insights to our customers and their businesses through our advisory services. We have a lot of ex-CTOs that work for very large enterprise organizations and have led digital transformation programs in the past. And so they help our customers understand their business and understand how cloud services can help accelerate their growth. They create those insights, and then we are able to execute on those insights through our offerings across migration, modernization, and management services that are executed by our cloud architects and cloud solution developers who work to execute the value proposition of those insights. And then we are able to accelerate the delivery of those offerings with our own software, Cloudamize, Sunstone, and Conductor. These are three software that create data-driven, software-enabled migration and modernization programs for our customers. And we are able to take that information that we generate with Cloudamize and really put it into production and make it an executable program through partners like Transition Manager who help organize that data and make it more usable for our engineers. And this drives a lot of value for our customers through what we call our smart software-driven delivery methodology. And that's across all three platforms, AWS being one of the primary ones that we work on. And so, as I mentioned, the two primary software platforms that we utilize for this smart migration methodology is Cloudamize, which is really a tool that allows us to very quickly gather data and analyze it about a customer's environment. It has agents that are installed, and they go out and scan that entire environment and pick up hundreds of data points on every node in the environment and understand what's happening in the customer's environment, and then it makes very intelligent migration recommendations to help customers get to the cloud quickly and do so very efficiently. And so that is one way in which we're able to collect the data, and then as Doug will tell you more about Transition Manager, how that tool is used to then really get the migration program moving at an accelerated pace.
Thank you, Rob. So the point of Transition Manager is it's a tool and platform, as you saw in Rob's previous charts, that takes in Cloudamize, which is an incredible discovery platform, as well as other points of data that are often siloed to create a single source of truth that then becomes an actionable plane across all the various offerings that Rob mentioned. So the outcome of that, and Ron mentioned earlier, is we really are able to create a very focused and informed application-dependent view of the IT environment across multiple sources and project that across multiple targets. And with that, we're able to migrate 5, 10, 15,000 workloads at scale with greater efficiency and lower risk because it's all been automated to create a single source of truth. The important points in that for our customers is that we're able to complete that discovery and actionable events in 35% fewer times. We're able to get the requirement from the customer in terms of their support. We're able to reduce that 60%. And on the back end, with Cloud Endure, we're able to automate that entire migration process and reduce time as much as 90%. So our customers see the value of the cloud that much sooner. Rob?
Yeah, and I think the important thing here to recognize is that CloudReach, together with Cloudomize and Transition Manager, really creates a process, an automated process that allows us to work a lot smarter than harder, right? And so we're able to do these migrations with fewer resources, lower risk, and a faster time to value for our customers, right? And be able to do that with less friction for our customers, right? So they are able, because we're so efficient at collecting data and then organizing it on the Transformation Manager platform, we're able to lower the impact to our customers' subject matter experts. So they don't have to spend so much time on the migration program because we're able to collect the data in an automated way, and we don't have to have them sit down for lengthy interviews or repeated interviews or multiple surveys to get that information. We're getting it through other sources in an automated way and then organizing it very quickly so that we can action upon it. And that's where I think the real value of this solution from CloudReach, with this automated and orchestrated tool chain of Cloudomize, Transition Manager, and then to the transport program like Cloud Endure. All that can be done in an automated way, and it becomes a very efficient process for our customers. And so here's just a better example of how it kind of looks like in practice, where a good migration program really is holistic in nature, right? So you can't just think about how am I going to move my data or my applications to the cloud. You also need to think about how is it going to affect your organization in other ways, like how are you going to manage that? Do you have the right people and skills in place? Do you have a cloud landing zone that allows you to securely manage those workloads in the cloud? And what are you doing beyond the migration? How are you modernizing those applications for both cost and performance? And so this is what we've done is really bring this all together using sophisticated tools to create data-driven decisions and automated acceleration of the migration program so that we're able to do it faster and more effectively for our customers.
And so with that, as Rob pointed out, the underlying offerings from CloudReach are really enhanced through the Cloudomize front end, and then Transition Manager really becomes the factory for those processes. And to be able to very quickly discover, build a lighthouse migration to build stakeholder support, and then go through the application dependencies to create a workflow design, and ultimately your events, and move them into Migration Factory that is at speed and scale, that can not only move to cloud, but it also can coordinate other work streams, refactor, replatform, etc., as well as in cloud and on-premise. So the ability to keep all that together in a single source of truth so that you can make sure that the outcome is risk-free and the results are what customers expect. Rob?
Yeah, and I think it's the orchestration of those tools, right? And the automation of getting the data out of the customer's environment, getting it into Cloudimize, and then orchestrating that with Transition Manager, so that that process happens seamlessly and efficiently across those different tool chains. And that's where I think we've spent a lot of time working together to make sure that those handoffs are incredibly smooth and efficient. And I think that's all this coming together for this Smart Migration program. And you can see how this is effective for our customers. So here's an example of a customer who we worked with together to deliver a complete holistic migration program for them. And so they were not in the cloud at all. They needed to get to the cloud quickly. And so we put together a program that allowed, with Cloudimize, that allowed us to investigate their environment, make real recommendations to them about how they can save money with their cloud environment, how they can save money with licensing, and also help them create a board level business case so that they could generate the buy-in from their internal stakeholders to make this transition to the cloud. And then from there, we were able to then use that same data without having to go back to the customer for more analysis. We were able to then import it into Transition Manager, where, as Doug will tell you, how Transition Manager can take all that data and then create a really efficient migration factory.
And Rob, what you get there, you see some of the points around Cloudimize, and again, it's an awesome tool and very informative in the discovery process, but the ability to get that other information scattered around the data silos and information silos in the company really gives us a quality single source of truth. It allows us to move at speed, and this speed is really based on the customer. The initial project was 8 months. They wanted to move faster. I think together Cloudimize and Transition Manager can move much faster than this, but this was their life and what they needed to do, and ultimately represented a reduction in cost in not only real dollars, but impact, as Rob mentioned earlier, on their people and their processes. And they had to get it complete because they needed to prep for M&A activities. So what Transition Manager allows is, with Cloudimize, is complete transparency of the process and the data in there. And what that really does is give stakeholders within the company real confidence and support of the project early on to deliver the results they're looking for.
Yeah, and one of the interesting parts about this, and this is not unusual for us, is that the customer had data kind of scattered all over their organization. So we use Cloudimize to gather a lot of it, but they also had ServiceNow data. They had data from VMware. They had data from different places, Excel spreadsheets that were just sitting on people's desktops, right? Like, we were able to use Transition Manager to take all that data and then rationalize it into one single data model that then became the information and data single source of truth for all the other aspects of this migration, right? Where we were able to, do the people planning and create a real cloud operating model based on the information that we had in that database, the aggregated database. Or we were able to create that governance model in the landing zone in their modernization plan based on all that information. So it really starts with, how do you collect really good information? How do you organize it correctly? And then once you have that, it allows you to execute in a much faster way using these kinds of tools. And so this is, we did this for this particular customer, but not uncommon for the customers that we work with. And we've seen this time and time again, where we're able to really accelerate the process by using, these tools in a very effective and organized way. And so you can see here, really we're able to get down to, lowering the actual duration of the migration, and also lowering the amount of resources required to complete the migration. So it makes it both faster for the customer and lower risk, because now, instead of bringing in lots of people with lots of additional management overhead, right, we're bringing in a smaller team that's informed and equipped with the tools to really make change happen very quickly.
Yeah, and Rob, what you see in this chart is that front end preparation you're talking about, getting that single source of truth across the multiple inputs that we ingest, and that's all in the yellow. That really facilitates the backside execution, because once you have that quality single source of truth that everybody is confident in, and you're able to automate that process in the back end, again, whether it's Cloud Endure, HCX, any of the transport tools, you see an enormous reduction in the amount of effort and the number of rollbacks and the number of problems when somebody pulls out of a migration event at the last minute, their application can't move. How do you manage that? And so that's all handled automatically within Transition Manager that presents these various waves in the last most up-to-date information, and it's all in automated fashion. So you don't have the keystroke errors, you don't have the rollbacks, and you really complete those migration events quicker and the overall outcome much quicker. And you can see at a much lower cost and reduced effort by all the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, and these are real tangible results that the customers see, and we know, through working with these customers, that the faster you can execute these migration programs, the faster you can get to more modernization and less cost and less stress on the IT team, because they're not having to support multiple environments. And so, we know that keeping momentum going throughout a migration program is key to the success of it. And so we found that using tools and data it is the best way to keep that momentum going. And what we've seen across multiple customers, both large and small here, but we've had these kind of success where we've migrated very large application estates, and we've done so at speed, very quickly. A good example here is this particular Stearns Home Loan, where we reduced their IT costs by over a third, almost immediately, by migrating them to the cloud in a very short amount of time, about 4 months. And then that laid the foundation for future business growth and building out more migration or modernization activities. So once they were able to get to the cloud, we had a lot more tools available to us to help create the modernization tools that they needed for their applications, like container cluster, serverless, database and data lake tools. So all those start to become available and relatively easy for these organizations to take advantage of once they get to the cloud. And so, what we did in these migration programs is really accelerate that process for them so that they could see the value of the cloud that much faster.
And Rob, 3M is another example of that, where it was 10,000 workloads that needed to be moved in a short period of time, and still in process, but that project is 3 to 6 months ahead of scale. And what that means is faster outcome, benefits of the cloud for the customer, and obviously benefits to the AWS team.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, these are example projects that we've worked on with other customers. Certainly, we have lots of other examples across all verticals of working with customers. We would open to working with anybody on this call, and so we can help get that acceleration to the cloud started. We can create a Cloudimize cloud assessment for you. We'd love to show you a demo of how that we get started with customers by using Cloudimize to start to collect that data, and then we integrate it into our smart migration program. And so generally these Cloudimize cloud assessments are free to the customer. We have programs in place, programs in place with AWS, Azure, and GCP to make those available to the customer so that they can gain those insights, determine the best possible path to the cloud, and then execute on that in the fastest way possible. So if this QR code right here, move my mouse out of the way so it doesn't throw that off. But yeah, this QR code, if you take that, that'll take you to a sign-up sheet where you can put your information in. We'd be happy to show you a demo and get you started on this assessment. From there, we can do a lot of different custom reporting, what if scenarios, and that's really where it gets started for most customers is in and around, let's take a look at your environment, determine what the best path to the cloud is, and how we can get started on that journey. So please, if you have any questions, you can fill out the form. We'll be happy to get in touch and answer any of those questions for you. Also,